What's good, everybody? It's your boy Anonymous, the author, aka Anonymous Rap Guy, and I am back with a little podcast episode, man. We're back doing something a little different this time. I got my camera running. I'm gonna upload a little clip to YouTube and see how this runs, man. I definitely got to get another camera because this thing only runs for about 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this, and we'll see what eventually ends up happening. But it's been a busy week for me. I had my first official comedy show on Monday. Y'all know I've been trying my hand at this whole comedy thing, and I actually got it accepted into a little bit of a comedy competition with this comedy festival network, I guess is what you want to qualify it as. I'm not going to drop the name of it because they didn't say that I could, and they're not paying me for this. So I'm just going to say that they did accept me, and I had a nice time. I had a fun time listening to everybody. I did stay for the whole show. I wanted to hear everybody out, wanted to hear, what they were talking about, what was going on. And just kind of get a feel out for the comedy scene because I know everybody's not Kevin Hart, everybody's not Dave Chappelle, everybody's not Daniel Tosh, and all those guys. I know I'm aging myself here because those are all like super old comics, but I had a good time. I definitely was the greenest one. I definitely was. It was obvious listening to everybody else that I was newer to the scene and that I was newer to the comedy set type stuff because if either you do or you don't know, either you follow me or you don't. But I've been posting stuff across my social media, on my YouTube, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, and all that good stuff, and definitely getting a feel for like laugh breaks and spacing and timing was something that I was still a little naive towards, and I was still a little green about, as I say, green around the gills, still a little young pup. I know I'm mixing species. I'm mixing up a whole bunch of stuff here, but like I said, this is just free thought, just free form thoughts, and I had a fun time. But yeah, definitely there were more pros, definitely more professional people, and like I said, it's good to feel like, hey man, I got a long way to go. I got a long way to get to actually get my feet in this thing, and yeah, it was humbling, but I got through my set. I finished everything. I got a couple laughs, a couple cheers. Obviously, they're not going to be very disrespectful because it was just, it was via Zoom. Maybe I should say that because of the whole pandemic. It was via Zoom, and it was about 14 or 15 of us, not including the judges, and we were the only audience. There was no public. It was just strictly based off of, them listening to us and them liking us. And I'll know Thursday if I move on or not. I'm not gonna bank on it, man. I'm not under the guise that I was the best one there. But I was confident in the material. I did get through it. I did ease through it. But there were definitely some I would say more natural comedians on there. Some people that clearly have been doing it for a while. They were from all over. We had a guy from Venezuela, I believe, and a young lady that was from the UK, I believe. On the other side of the world. Shout out to them for being able to link up and sync up the correct times because I barely made it. And I was on at 8, man. A funny story. So before the comedy show actually started, I was messing with my camera just to make sure everything would go right with Zoom. This was my first ever Zoom like comedy show. It was my first ever comedy anything live. So I was a little nervous, and I pulled my camera up, and I'm like, okay, I'm recording my set, just me sitting there so I can get through it. I can laugh and giggle. And I guess I left the camera going. I had the camera app still up. So when I opened up Zoom, they couldn't see me. And I was like, oh, crap. Oh, we only had about 5 minutes until you had to be online or you got shut out, essentially. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to have to run across town, run to my friends, and get their internet to work for mine and to make sure that I can get on there. And I run out the house without a jacket on. It's about, I think, 30 degrees here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, it was that day. And I'm just gunning it, like speeding down the street, trying to get there. And I have my computer right by me, and I'm like, hold on. Well, let me try something. So I open Zoom back up on my computer, and I pull into a fast food place. Once again, they're not paying me, so I'm definitely not going to drop the name of this place. And I pull up, and I close it out, and it's working perfectly. So I'm like, damn it. I'm glad because I didn't get that far away from my house. But then I zoom right back, come right back here to the basement, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, hey, guys, I'm back. And they're like, oh, yeah, we can see you now. And I'm like, mother. I just wasted all this gas, all this time. I'm stressing, I'm sweating, and I'm like, I have to do a set in the next 5 minutes because I was one of the first people up. And I'm just like, All right, this is definitely this is definitely my luck. But like I say, it was all in all, it probably took about 6 7 minutes, so I wasn't really late. I kept checking in and out of the Zoom meeting, so they didn't kick me out, they didn't boot me out. So shouts out to them. You guys freaking rock for that. And everybody in it was really cool. It was a bunch of conversing. I followed a couple of people on social media. So if you guys are listening out there, thank you guys for just really being a part of my journey. You guys don't have to comment. I don't want you guys to feel pressure to do anything, but just want to say I appreciate you guys for being out there and really, helping me grow as an individual. I'm all about positive energy, positive vibes on this side. So you guys are really awesome. And just post that show and like sitting back and reflecting on it, I definitely feel like I've been bitten by the bug, the so-called bug they say. I definitely want to do more of those type shows. I definitely want to do more. It was a comedy competition, so it wasn't just like an open mic. But I definitely want to get out there and start doing open mics. I probably would have been more nervous if it was actually in front of people, but it was via Zoom, so I was in my comfort zone. I had, my light going. I had everything, feeling relatively comfortable and easy. So I definitely appreciate everybody that's out there that got me, man. That all the judges that accepted me, everybody out there that just basically helped me. Like I really appreciate it, man. Like that was a fun experience. Definitely, like I say, definitely green around the gills. Got a long way to go before I would ever consider calling myself like a professional stand-up comedian. But I'm an amateur. I'm out here trying. I'm trying to get my timing down. I'm confident in my writing game, but clearly not confident in the performance just yet. But I'm all for it. I had a good time. I'm all smiles. I sit back and laugh at it, just because that's what you got to do. You got to enjoy yourself. You got to pick out what you actually have fun with and what you didn't have fun with. So looking forward to my next one. Looking forward to some more open mics. I added myself to a couple of groups across social media so that I can be, aware of different stuff getting posted. So I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for what this is going to lead into. I'm excited for, what the future has. Like I said, 2020 kicked me into high gear with all this internet stuff. Y'all know I've been on here getting my YouTube numbers up, getting my social media number together, getting my comedy and music game together, and it's definitely looking up. If you guys are interested, I do have a project that I'm working on in conjunction with everything else, a music project that's going to be coming out relatively soon, next few months, probably somewhere after April, I want to say, just to get everything mixed down, mastered, make sure I get the album cover and the back cover and make sure I get everything uploaded and promoted and ready to go in time. I don't know what I'm going to do about music videos just because everything is still closed. A lot of the stuff is social distance, and my usual videographer is busy with his kid, and I'm definitely not the type of guy that is going to make him part ways with his baby just to pursue a silly music career that is not paying well at all right now. So I'm not going to be that kind of friend, but I'm definitely going to try to get some kind of visual, whether it's animated or I string together some other type stuff and just make it work. But I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the music. I'm excited for the comedy. I'm excited with just about everything. Just trying to take this media and everything into my own hands. And I also got certified with my LLC. I don't know if you guys tuned into that episode, but I am certified. I do have an official LLC registered here in Ohio. Not going to drop it here online because if y'all not trying to pay me, then hey, I don't know what's going on. Hey, y'all can hit me up on Cash App, man, if that's what y'all want to do. And that is in the description below on any platform. So hey, you want to throw me some bucks? Appreciate it. But I'm not gonna name drop here. But other than that, man, I've just been chilling, just been kicking it easy, really trying to figure out how I'm gonna kick this all into high gear. Coming into 2021, it's January 13th right now. This episode will be uploaded on the 14th. Y'all know every Wednesday. And I'm really excited to kick it up a little bit. I've definitely been slacking off for everybody that follows the podcast. It's definitely some large spaces in between a couple of the episodes, especially coming into the new year. But I am getting back to a more weekly basis. Every Thursday, I try to upload an episode. Try to just vent to you guys, just let you guys know where I'm at mentally, let you guys know where I'm at in my space, and let you guys know what I've been working on. And I'm pretty happy with it. And it's really because of everybody out there that's been listening and watching that I've made it this far. Honestly, like if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know what the hell I'd be doing. Like, you guys give me some great feedback. Some of you can be jerks, which I still appreciate. But some of you guys out there can be a little rough and a little mean. But, I mean, I'm not mad at that. I definitely need that. I definitely, it definitely pushes me. Like, I try to limit some of the stuff that I take in because not all stuff is good stuff. Not everything is warranted. Not everything is wanted. But you guys have been pushing me to new heights and new levels. And I'm just like, yo, I need that. But I don't want to sound like I'm getting too emotional, but I definitely appreciate where you guys are coming from with your feedback. And yeah, just keep giving it to me, man. Like I said, this is what I've got here is all because of y'all. This setup with the camera and the audio and like trying to incorporate everything. You guys have made comments that you like videos. You guys like this kind of thing. So I'm going to do my best to make this work, and we'll see what happens. But this is my first time trying to sync up everything. Obviously, I'm the only one editing things right now, so we'll see what happens. We'll see how well this links up, but I want to make it so that it works, flawlessly, aimlessly, and that everything is a smooth, cool little transition, but I don't know if it will be. So we'll pick it up from there. So in the news, honestly, they got Kyrie Irving, man. They have been talking a lot about Kyrie Irving and the situation that he's going through with the Brooklyn Nets. If you guys are not aware, Kyrie Irving has just been off and on. Like in the past, he's been in the news, but more recently, so he's really been in the news for his like leaving the Brooklyn Nets and not telling the higher ups where he was going. They said he texted his teammates and his friends that he was going to be taking a leave of absence away from the team. But the, coach Steve Nash and I think his name is Sean Marks, the GM, they responded with they didn't know where he was. They didn't know what was going on. And they didn't really know what he was doing. And that's a problem. I mean, we're not going to act like that, leaving your job, and not telling your bosses where you're going or what you got going on is a cool issue. So, I mean, my thing personally about what's going on is Kyrie has been getting, like, horrible raps around the league. Like, his rep is just not good right now in the league. And, I mean, it's really like a can of worms. Like, if you want to go down this avenue, if you want to go down this whole activist avenue that he's going, I think personally that he needs to just quit the NBA. I think he really needs to step away. I think he just needs to. I mean, I had this. Of course, Stephen A. Smith has a similar take, but mine is actually for a different reason. I think that with all the money that he's made in the NBA, with the endorsements that he has, with the, social power that he has, because I mean he's got a ton of followers across social media. I think it would be best if he just stepped away for the simple fact that he could focus totally and entirely on activism. Like, I think that the NBA is holding him back in a sense. Like, yes, like clearly, way more people are going to care because he's an NBA player for his activism. Like, if he's just a regular Joe Schmo, then, I mean, not many people are going to watch or tune in. But if it's so much of an importance to him, I think the NBA does him a disservice of keeping him under contract if this is how he feels. Like, if he feels like he can only do activism and not basketball, then why keep signing him to contracts? Like, if y'all know he's going to be like this, let that man be free. Let him get under his own, kind of wing. Like, let him jump out there and see what happens. And then if people don't care, hey, you can be humbled like that. And he's young enough that a year of doing your own thing, or a year of being out here in the public eye and not getting any, respect as an activist, hey, it'll send you back to basketball pretty quickly, man. He could pull a Michael Jordan, take a year off and explore other things. But I don't think it's fair to him, and I don't think it's fair to the Nets organization to make him commit to a team when that really isn't his interest. Like, LeBron, I think, has got a lot of people fooled in the sense of it's not easy to be an activist and to be to have a professional career. I mean, I'm like, people come for LeBron all day, every day, from the right and left, just because they don't agree necessarily with how he's going about it and how he's, I guess, serves a master that they disagree with. But I mean, I don't know. So many people are just opinionated, and I mean, it's like, no one cares. It's like opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and most of them stink. So all of them stink in that case. But yeah, I really think Kyrie Irving should just be let go. He should be able to walk away, like void his contract and allow him to be fully free. He is gifted as heck. He has all the physical talent in the world, but that doesn't mean that he wants to do it. Like, for me, example, I know I'm going to compare myself to this professional athlete, who's gifted physically in ways that I couldn't even comprehend. But I have an ability with like what I was told throughout my entire working career, and what I still continue to be told is that I have great customer service. Like, I'm really good with people. I work really well with talking to people and getting them to understand situations, and in a certain aspect explaining. I can't explain anything for crap in my personal life. If you ask me what I'm thinking at a certain time, oh, I'm horrible. If you ask me how I'm feeling at a certain motion, oh, that's just a fail all across the board. It's just not going to work. But if you ask me a store policy, I got you. I can explain it down to the T, man. I can talk you down off the ledge. Like, I'm a beast at that. But yeah, as far as it goes with my own personal feelings and my own personal emotions, no, it just doesn't work out. But just because I have a gift of working with the public or working in customer service or being able to talk to people, it doesn't mean that I like to. Like, I'm naturally an introvert, as some of you may or may not know. I'm just naturally an introvert. I naturally just do not like being around people. I seen it explained perfectly. They had like a little, I forget where I was on Google or something, and they were talking about like extroverts get energy from being around people. They get inspired. They feel energy and powered up from being around people. But excuse me, it's been a long day, man. Introverts such as myself, we can deal with people, but it is physically and mentally draining being around people. And we receive most of our energy boost, most of our power, most of our, the second stride or the second wind or the inspiration of like when we're completely and totally alone. And I definitely agree and feel that like 100%. And I guess I'm bringing this back to Kyrie saying that like just because you have a certain gift in a certain aspect, or people think that you have a certain gift in a certain aspect, doesn't mean at all that you're interested in nurturing or pursuing or enhancing that ability. Like he is one hell of a basketball player, but just because he has that gift doesn't mean that he has any interest in being a part of the NBA. I'm sure he wants to ball, and that's why I said he should quit the NBA. He can still ball. Like, you can still put him, in rec leagues and, put him on YMCA leagues and put him in, adult leagues. I mean, he won't be getting paid $30 million like he's getting paid now, but he can still, show off that talent and show off that skill and show off that ability whenever he feels like he wants to. He doesn't have to be on the NBA's timeline and contract and have to be here at certain times and talk to the media, because that's also been a huge point of contention with Kyrie, is that he doesn't feel like he has to talk to the media. And if you quit the NBA, dude, you'll never talk to the media again unless you want to. Like, the NBA media is there for the games and there for the post games and there for the pre games, and they've got media days, and it's just like half of their job is just talking to other people, like marketing. Marketing is one of the biggest things I can think of. And definitely since I've started doing music, and definitely since I've started like pursuing down this entertainment road, avenue, venture, whatever you want to call it, it's definitely mostly advertising. Like, even now, I don't even have any advertisers for this show, but I know it would be nice to get a couple. If you're out there, you can email me. But half of the game is just advertising, and that's how their interviews and media is it's for advertising. Like, they're talking to radio stations that help to promote the product, and the promotions are sold by ad. Like, it's just a huge big cycle and circle of sales and adding people on. And if that's not your thing, if that's not your cup of tea, if you don't enjoy that, then it's like, hey man, just step away. Like, just because God bless you with an ability, like you made a crap ton of money, the NBA players make generational wealth after the rookie deal. Rookie deals are like 10 million, but if you're a good player, you can sign, like, I believe the league max for a second deal is like, I want to say it's about 20 million per year. I believe so. That's the contract, and then after that, you can sign the Giannis contract, Giannis Antetokounmpo contract that he's making. I think 40 plus million a year, and that is generational wealth. Like that is like his kids will never have to work. His kids will never have to work again as long as they manage the money correctly. Because as y'all know, you can spend money on anything in this world. Like money, it's hard to come by, but boy, is it easy to spend. Like it is very easy to lose money in this world. It's not even difficult to lose cash. Like so, as long as you manage it correctly. And Kyrie's making $30 million a year. I believe this is his second year. So he made $30 million at least last year, and not counting the money he made with Cleveland and everything else, on top of his endorsement. So it's like he never has to work again if he doesn't want to. So let that man be free. Let the Brooklyn Nets move on. I heard they just trade for James Harden, which is crazy. That like the trade package is absurd. Like the Rockets got Victor Oladipo, which personally, I think it's not fair for Victor. I don't know if he honestly wanted out, but he's really committed to Indiana since he left OKC. And he originally got drafted in Orlando. I follow Victor Oladipo's career, man. I remember when he first got drafted by the Orlando Magic, and they thought he was going to be like the huge, big answer to all the problems that they had. And he was a really good player, but a lot of these NBA teams give up on players very quickly and very soon. And I think they would be an even better team if they kept him around, honestly. I think Victor Oladipo is a great two-way guard, great defensively, pretty good offensively, but I think he really shines on defense. But the injuries have kind of sapped his athleticism. They've kind of sapped his bounce a little bit. Like he's not as fast, he's not as quick, but he's still a really effective player. I wish he could have stayed around in Indiana because y'all know I'm an Ohio boy. Y'all know I'm an Ohio homer. So anything around Ohio, I pretty much, sop up like a biscuit and gravy. But, shout out to Victor, man. He's got a new start with the Rockets and John Wall. And the Rockets get off James Harden. So that's where I'm going to go next, man, is a blockbuster trade. Like, Rockets get Karis LeVert. No, I'm sorry. Rockets get Victor Oladipo, and they still got John Wall, so they can pair him with Christian Wood. DeMarcus Cousins hasn't really been that great this year, but, hey, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, he's coming off the bench. Maybe he'll come back to form. Maybe he won't. But, hey, like, just throw him out there and see what happens. I wish the best for Boogie. He's really had some difficulty since this whole thing started. So I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he gets back to form, and I hope he gets back to being a starter, because that would be dope as hell to see Boogie back in form and back dominating the league, because the league needs, I think personally, the league needs more big men, like more dominant and skilled big men. Like it's just something that they need. But it says Houston receives 3 unprotected first-round draft picks from Brooklyn, 2024, 2022, and 2026. They also can swap picks in 2021, 2023, 2025, and 2027. They also get picked by the Milwaukee Bucks. So the Nets are all in this year, man. They gave up the farm. They are shooting for the stars, and I mean, it's to be expected. I don't know what I guess their long-term plan is, hey, we got Kevin Durant, we got Kyrie and James Harden all on the same team. If Kyrie doesn't want to play, we have James Harden that can handle the ball, but I don't know how this works out. This is me just going, just taking a long shot at this, that they are saying, look, we don't care what happens with Kyrie. We're totally moving forward with our plans and our ambitions to be a championship team. If Kyrie decides not to be a part of this, then we are fine with having James Harden. But having James Harden and Kyrie on the same team, like they're both ball-dominant guards, man. Like James Harden loves to have the ball in his hands. I mean, Kevin Durant is the ultimate team player, like to me, because he can shoot, catch and shoot situations. He's a good rebounder. He's a good defender. He plays he can score at every level. So if you just pass him the rock, you can get a bucket. I don't know how James Harden is going to factor into that, because, I don't know, man. Like I don't know how they're going to do it. But hey, shouts out to the Nets going all in. I mean, if anybody can figure it out, it would be Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni on how to, share the rock between those three. Because as we know, James Harden has played with Russell Westbrook, who can't shoot a lick. and they made it. They made it as a pretty good team. They made it to the playoffs in the West. So in the East, you got to at least say that they're the prohibitive favorites on talent alone to make it deep in the playoffs, at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, Giannis is good, and that team in Milwaukee is good, but position for position, I mean, you have to give it to the Nets. Like, I would say that Kevin Durant and Antetokounmpo cancel each other out at their positions, at their size, at their height, offensively and defensively. I mean, Kevin has a little bit more of a shot, and Antetokounmpo was a little bit more physical, I guess. But let's just say that at those two, that position is a wash. Let's just say that. Across the board, you have to give it to the Nets. Like, James Harden is better than I don't even know who the two is in. I'll just compare him to Middleton. I mean, he wipes the floor with Middleton from a guard forward position, and Kyrie washes Drew Holiday. So it's not even a question. And in the other position, just pick your poison. DeAndre Jordan, Brook Lopez. I mean, Brook Lopez shoots a little bit better, but we're not gonna act like Brook Lopez is going to destroy DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan is great defensively and on the boards. So, I mean, it'll be an interesting trade, man. I'm interested to see what will happen. This has definitely turned into more of a sports podcast than what I originally wanted to start as, but I'm all for it, man. I'm all down for it. I'm all up for the sports talk. I hope you guys are ready for a little bit of craziness in Brooklyn, man. If Kyrie doesn't play again, I think the Brooklyn Nets are just fine. I kind of think that they might be, and this is just me speculating here, they might be like, hey, let's get ready to get off Kyrie Irving's contract. Like, they might be like, hey, James Harden, we know, is committed to playing basketball. Even in Houston, he was unhappy, but he showed up and played basketball. He was down there, seen partying, but even then, even with all the protocols he was in, he still didn't miss, time like that. So you got to give it to that man. He was like, look, I don't like y'all. I think we trash. I don't think the skill is there. But, hey, I am committed to playing these games. I'm committed to getting my butt out there on that court, and I'm ready to show up and show out, So you can't say he ain't committed. I think that'll be a good change of culture. Like, honestly, like, if you're number two, obviously, because Kyrie is not better than Kevin Durant. If your number two isn't going to be committed and all in, and they're like, yo, we need somebody who is committed, and KD's been committed. And now they got James Harden, who is a baller. I just hope that the relationship with Mike D'Antoni doesn't sour things. Because D'Antoni left without even talking to that man. So I hope that that doesn't set a bad precedent. And I also hope that they don't just kind of hand over the organization to James Harden again. Especially with Steve Nash, the coach, being a first-year head coach, I think they definitely need to set up some very clear and strict policies and rules for James Harden. Like, yo, this is what will be accepted. This was what won't be accepted. We're not just gonna roll over and die because we're not gonna roll over like puppies just because you're upset or unhappy with the situation. Like, we got a team around you that we think can contend for a championship, and all you got to do is put up buckets. And I think that's what he's going to do. I think he is going to just drop boards. Like, they say he came in this year looking overweight and a little bit chubby. This man dropped like 30 and 17 a few games ago. Like, he's out of shape. Y'all calling him overweight and all that, and he dropped 30 and like 17? Like, ugh, it's people who couldn't get that in their prime. And James Harden drops that on an off night, like on a rough season. Like, ugh. I hate to see him when he's fully engaged and playing basketball. Like, man. But I'm gonna say this: he need to cut that stuff off his head, man. I'm all for him, but he got a hairline like mine. Like, my stuff, I got the Kobe hairline. My stuff is fading away, man. Like, I got the prime MJ Game 6. Like, this fadeaway is vicious. You know what I'm saying? His hairline is fade away city, but. Yeah, man, I wish them all the luck in the world. I wish James Harden nothing but buckets. I wish KD nothing but buckets. They haven't played since together since the early OKC days when James Harden was coming off the bench. So we'll see what happens with the reunion, man. We'll see how they pair together. I don't know. Like you hear all these rumblings about James Harden being a hard teammate to play with, but you playing with an official star. Like he's played with a lot of key guards, and I guess Dwight Howard, but Dwight Howard has like one specific game set. It's like you throw it down in the post and he works off that, or he throws lobs and catches, which you think lobs and catches would be, you know, James Harden's specialty with as many assists as he get, but he didn't like it, and James Harden didn't like it. So we'll see what happens. He's under contract for like 2 more years, I believe, after this one. So they get to run it through this year, run it through next year, and then see if they want to keep James Harden or move on. And like I said, I think KD is the building block there in at the next organization, and I definitely think that you roll with KD, and then whatever he says goes, because KD has never been known as a problem in anywhere that he's went before. So I think you build around KD, you fill in the pieces. If James Harden doesn't work, you let him go and you bring in somebody else. If Kyrie doesn't want to play there, you let him go and you bring in somebody else, and you just try to keep KD as the core and you build around that until KD can't play anymore or he retires or he lets you know he's ready to move on. So that's just my thoughts, man. That's just where I'm at. Letting you guys know. I think I'm going to get ready to wrap it up right now. It's been about 30 minutes. That's where I try to wrap up these shows. So yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by as always. Hope you guys are being good. Hope you guys are being kind. But more importantly than anything else, I hope you guys are being yourself, man. I'll catch y'all next time on the Anonymous Author Podcast. Be safe out there, y'all. Peace.